One of country music's biggest stars, Garth Brooks, is accused of sexual battery and rape in a new lawsuit
Oh, hell.
filed in LA. I have 13 shocking allegations from the suit and how Garth Brooks is responding to the accuser's claims. Welcome to Crime Fix. I'm Anjanette Levy. Garth Brooks is undoubtedly one of the best-selling singers of all time. Only the Beatles have sold more albums. Brooks sold out stadium concerts for years. His first album was released in 1989, and he's been a star ever since. He's currently playing Caesar's Palace in a residency going into next year. Brooks is married to fellow country singer Trisha Yearwood and is loved by his fans. Now, though, he's being sued by a former hair and makeup artist who says Brooks battered her. Brooks is denying the claims in a statement, and I'll have that full statement for you later on in the show. The lawsuit was filed in LA County, and an interesting thing about it, the Wigder law firm, which represented Cassie Ventura in her sexual assault and trafficking lawsuit against Sean Combs, is representing the woman who is suing Garth Brooks. Now, we don't know her name. She's identified only as Jane Roe, and she worked as both a makeup artist and hairdresser for both Garth Brooks and Trisha Yearwood for several years.
Oh, hell.
Claims the woman has both audio recordings of phone calls with Brooks and text messages to support her claims. I'll read one of those text exchanges later. The suit claims that Jane Roe was hired to do makeup for Trisha Yearwood in 1999, and then she started doing hair and makeup for Brooks in 2017. In 2019, the suit claims Jane Roe started having money problems, and Garth Brooks found out and took advantage of that. The suit says Brooks
Oh my God.
seized what he
Are you serious?
saw as an opportunity to subject a female employee to a side of Brooks that he conceals from the public. This side of Brooks believes he is entitled to sexual gratification when he wants it, and using a female employee to get it is fair game. Now,
Oh, you gonna burn in hell for that.
I'm going to describe one of the first allegations as delicately as I can. The lawsuit uses vivid and descriptive language, often quoting what Brooks is alleged to have said, and I've cleaned up this next
I heard some of this, y'all. It is sick. It's some crazy stuff.
part quite a bit. The suit describes an incident in 2019 where Jane Roe claims she was at Garth Brooks's home and he walked out of the shower and greeted her naked and that he had an erection. Jane Roe claims in the suit that Brooks told her he fantasized about that moment and grabbed her hand and placed it on him, and then told her he wanted her to perform oral sex with her glasses on, so when he climaxed, that would happen on her glasses. Now, Jane Roe said she didn't do what...
Man. Garth, you couldn't find anybody that was willing to do that? That is crazy as hell. I mean, it's alleged, but that is crazy as hell. You couldn't find somebody that's just into that sort of thing. You had to go do it to somebody who didn't want it done, allegedly. Man, this is nuts. That's a poor choice of words, but you know what I'm trying to say.
Brooks wanted her to do, but she needed the money, so she didn't leave. Then she said in May of that year,
Amy, right? Yeah, Chris Gaines. I remember when he did that. He went all rocker.
She flew to Los Angeles with Brooks for the Grammys. The suit says usually there were others on Brooks's private jet, but this time Ms. Roe and Brooks were the only two passengers. Once in the Los Angeles hotel, Ms. Roe could not believe that Brooks had booked a hotel suite with one bedroom and she did not have a separate room. Jane Roe then claims that Brooks appeared in the door of the bedroom naked, flexed his muscles, and
oh, hell, come on. Garth, what are you doing? Man.
She said she felt sick to her stomach and trapped. The suit reads, tragically, her worst fears came true when seconds later, he was towering over her, his 6-foot and almost 300-pound frame, ready to pounce on Ms. Roe, who is less than 5 feet.
Damn, Garth Brooks is 6 foot, but 300 pounds? I guess I can see it.
And 100 pounds. As she began to panic.
She's less than 5 feet and only 100 pounds. Damn.
He grabbed her hands and pulled her into the next room and onto the bed where she could not escape his physical domination. Brooks's rape of Ms. Roe was painful and traumatic. Having no regard for her well-being and intent on his own sexual gratification at the expense of Ms. Roe's physical, mental and emotional trauma at some point during the nightmare.
Oh, hell.
Brooks even held her small body upside down by her feet and penetrated her.
What the hell? Upside. Man.
Suit claims that Brooks insisted the
This is crazy as hell.
woman wear her glasses during this assault, and when it was over, she had to do his hair and makeup so he wasn't late for the Grammys.
What? Oh, hell no. She have the razor out. Oh, sorry. Got the rest of it.
The suit also claims that Brooks claimed he'd had sex with women in every corner of a hotel room on every surface, no matter their race. Now, after the alleged assault, Jane Roe claims Brooks did things with his wife in front of her that made her very uncomfortable. The suit says Brooks intentionally fondled, grabbed, and kissed his wife in close physical proximity to Ms. Roe in a way that made Ms. Roe feel extremely uncomfortable. In addition, Brooks would tell Ms. Roe that he thought it was hot to see his wife be with another woman sexually and implied that she could be the other woman. Although it was disturbing, she did not respond to these suggestions. Ms. Roe had worked for Ms. Yearwood since 1999 and worried that Ms. Yearwood would hear things he was saying to Ms. Roe and be upset with her, even though, of course, such behavior was initiated by Brooks. Roe also claims she has physical injuries from the assault. Ms. Roe was physically ill and already in pain by the time they flew back to Nashville. In fact, a migraine had started. In the weeks after this horrific violence, Ms. Roe experienced debilitating pain in her neck and lower back, which she sought medical treatment for. In addition, she had to seek treatment from her OBGYN for damage Brooks caused during the Los Angeles. Then she claimed Garth Brooks
this is nuts.
Began to talk to her more and more about
this was 2019 Steph Case Files. And y'all make sure you follow Steph Case Files.
About sex and followed her regularly. The suit says, after the sexual assault and rape in Los Angeles, Brooks increased the frequency of saying his fantasies about her aloud, along with his physical groping of her breasts against her will. Disgustingly, he often forced her to do this while she was styling his hair and doing his makeup. At times, Brooks implied the groping would continue despite Ms. Roe insisting this was unwanted. For example, one time when he said while groping her, "Next time we mess around," and Ms. Roe clearly said no.
Man, this is crazy.
No, he became visibly angry at Ms. Roe and left. Ms. Roe, needing the financial support from her work for Brooks, was petrified that her refusals would cause him to fire her. Jane Roe's suit goes on to say at times that she wanted to commit suicide. I mentioned earlier that Jane Roe claims she had text messages and audio recordings of the phone calls. Jane Roe claims Brooks forced her to text with him and that he used more than one cell phone and different email addresses, some with the names of females. One of those text messages is featured in the suit. Part of it is redacted to hide another woman's name, but Jane Roe says Brooks wanted her to talk in a sexualized manner. She wrote, "Warm fact, and that huge stick you carry, Roosevelt." Brooks is alleged to have responded, "I'll take that nickname, thank you, I love you," with heart emojis. Now, the suit claims
Dear Lord.
that Brooks deleted many of the texts from Jane Roe's phone that showed sexting. Now to the alleged recordings of phone calls, one of which is from 2020, in which Jane Roe claims she was upset that Brooks had told his wife that Jane Roe had seen him naked from the waist down. The suit claims Brooks tried to minimize what was said and said, "Oh, sweetheart, for one, I think I know Trisha pretty well and she wasn't uncomfortable. And I said you saw my stuff. That was it. We were talking about something and it just came up."
Man.
Look, I'm worried you are
This is crazy as hell.
Thinking this. In other quoted exchanges, it appears that Brooks may be acknowledging that something happened. "I work with the best, and I don't want to do something stupid that breaks this team up. So I will do whatever I need to do or do whatever I don't need to do. But I just want to keep working with you. But if you feel weird working with me, it's fine. We don't have to work together." In response, Ms. Rose said, "I've never found myself in a situation that is, I just don't know that I'm going to be able to look up from. And I am a little frightened of you. I really am." Brooks said, "Sweet baby, I'm so sorry. I can't imagine. That makes me frightened of you." Another alleged phone call discusses
What
Jane
does
Roe
that
telling
mean?
Brooks no to fooling around. Ms. Rowe said over the phone to Brooks, "I want to make sure that even though I've told you no, that you're cool with no. I mean, no as in no fooling around like we had done. You are cool with that, right?"
Wait, she told him, I told you no, like no, I mean no, as in no fooling around like we had done? Why would she say like we had done instead of like, no, you're not going to do what you did to me before? Do you know what I mean? Or is she just trying to get information out of him? Doesn't that seems a little bit weird? Like she's saying, oh, we can't do that again like we did before, right? But she didn't say, the way she made it sound was like she was participating in it, not a victim of it. Do you know what I mean? Because there's words you can't say on here, but you know what I mean? Like, that is strange. That kind of hits kind of weird. I mean, obviously you want to believe her and go, well, yeah, that's crazy as hell. And especially, well, she says she has like recordings and like text messages and all kinds of stuff. So I think maybe she was just saying like that to try to get more information out of him. And she didn't want to come out and say, you did this to me, da-da-da, you did, you know what I mean? And then he's going to shut down and say, I ain't saying shit. What are you talking about? Nope. Nah, that's crazy though. Jesus.
Ms. Rowe also mentioned that she saw
Angel, because yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like she did say that she's got all kinds of proof. So
him and that he was pretty upset with her. Brooks replied, "No, I would never be upset with you. Look at it this way, okay? Look at it. The best way I can explain it is me and you broke into a jewelry store. And the second we broke the door, we looked at each other and said, this isn't right. But we already had broken the door. And so I think me and you get out and run and just hope that nobody ever finds out and just love one another and be friends. Is that fair?" Brooks allegedly said in another call, "I'm lucky to have you. I don't want this to go anywhere, and I don't want something that happened in the moment to screw the whole 20 years I've known you." Jane
damn.
Rowe's attorneys issued a statement applauding her for coming forward, and they say that Brooks actually filed his own federal lawsuit in Mississippi anonymously, trying to block Jane Rowe from filing her suit in what they call an act of desperation and attempted intimidation.
Whoa.
Garth Brooks is denying these allegations, and he has issued a statement to Deadline calling this a shakedown for millions of dollars. The statement says, "For the last 2 months, I have been hassled to no end with threats, lies, and tragic tales of what my future would be if I did not write a check for many millions of dollars. It has been like having a loaded gun waved in my face."
Oh, hell.
The statement continues, "Hush money, no matter how much or how little, is still hush money. In my mind, that means I am admitting to behavior I am incapable of, ugly acts no human should ever do to another." Brooks also responded.
Hold up. So he's trying to say that something happened, but it was consensual, but now she feels bad afterwards because he told Trisha Yearwood, who's his wife, and she's afraid to lose her job. So now she's saying, well, she can't still work for him now after filing a lawsuit. And he's trying to say all this happened and now she's just using it to get millions of dollars because they said she was like fell on hard times and she needed the job. That's why she kept going and like flying to places with him. I don't know about that, Garth. I don't know.
To his
Keep going.
filing a federal lawsuit to try to block Jane Rowe from filing her suit. "We filed suit against this person nearly a month ago to speak out against extortion and defamation of character. We filed it anonymously for the sake of families on both sides." I want to bring in entertainment attorney Jonathan Handel. Jonathan, your first thoughts on the allegations being made by Jane Rowe?
Well, this is, it certainly is evident that the Me Too movement, the Me Too extended
Man, that dude's got a messy office, huh?
moment.
Holy hell. Imagine that's your attorney. Oh, I've got your contract somewhere under all this crap.
That we saw several years ago, that almost inexplicably, by and large, bypassed music, has now, with the conviction of R. Kelly, the litigation and charges against Diddy, and now the allegations against Garth Brooks, that
it's only the beginning.
Me Too is a wave that
It's gonna get crazy as hell, y'all. Watch.
is finally cresting on the beach of music. This is very much in the vein of the kinds of litigation and allegations that we've seen earlier in filmed entertainment, film and TV, in politics, and in certain other areas, but not so much in music until the last little while.
Does it give her lawsuit any more credence or credibility, her claims, in that she's being represented by the same law firm that represented Cassie Ventura, the Wigder law firm? Cassie Ventura, this lawsuit was settled within a day. But does that mean anything at all?
Well, and in the case of Cassie,
Damn.
of course, there was video.
I bet Diddy's worth more money than Garth Brooks, I would imagine, huh? I know Garth did a lot of, he's like musically famous, but like Garth Brooks didn't have like clothing lines and freaking all that kind of stuff, you know what I mean? And even Garth now, he had a residency at Caesar's Palace. Back in like the 90s, yeah, I could see Garth selling out freaking arenas everywhere. But nowadays, like, what's he doing for? Vegas residency. He's selling out shows every night. Probably not anymore, though. It's crazy.
As well.
Keep going.
Well, this is video of Diddy. Apparently,
I know he has money. Yeah, he has money. I know, but I'm saying like Diddy, when Cassie filed the suit, the next day closed. For how, like, God knows how much money, right? Tens of millions, if not more, right? But then he's saying this lady was like millions of dollars. This is weird. Garth, really? It's because it's Garth Brooks, y'all. You know what I mean? Like, that's like the person where you'd be like, "Hi, Montreal. I know you can't believe it either, huh?" But you know what I mean? Like, he always seemed like pretty wholesome. He got a little crazy in the last few years, obviously. But like 90s, he seems so wholesome. He said out there, a dream is like a river. That kind of stuff. It's just a weird one, y'all. That's a weird one.
Diddy beating, kicking, physically abusing her in a hotel hallway.
Yeah, and the thunder rolls, damn.
It does add some weight. We have to remember that the court of public opinion is not the same as the court of law, and the court of law is ultimately where allegations get tested. And
TikTok, thanks for the tiny dinies too. Appreciate y'all. Thanks for supporting the channel, y'all. Hit the follow button if you're new here. Tap the screen like crazy. YouTube, hit the thumbs up button. Let's get 100 likes. We got 15 to go. Montreal says, please.
Resolved. But it's quite notable. There are several things that are quite notable. One of them is that the legal complaint that the anonymous plaintiff, Ms. Rowe, filed against Garth Brooks is written, in my view, as much for the press and public as it is for the court. There are a lot of adjectives in it, which you wouldn't normally see in a complaint. Normally, a complaint lays out the facts without, and then says how the facts constitute a violation of law or a cause of action, a claim. But here we have references to Garth Brooks allegedly sharing his thoughts about his prowess and remarks like, fortunately, Garth Brooks is not entitled to abuse the law. And that's a reference to a lawsuit that Brooks himself apparently filed. There was an anonymous John Doe lawsuit against an anonymous defendant attempting to preempt this lawsuit, apparently. So, there's very much an awareness here that the eyes of the country, and indeed in many ways of the world, are upon this lawsuit.
I want to talk to you about how unusual that is for somebody like Garth Brooks or anybody at all to file what is being described as a preemptive lawsuit, trying to block her essentially from filing her complaint.
That is a little weird.
And he did it anonymously. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, it's a real non-starter. I mean, people are entitled in this country to file lawsuits. They are entitled.
Me on YouTube goes, blame it all on his roots. Man, you crazy as hell.
To send a draft of a lawsuit with a demand letter, as the plaintiff Rose lawyers allegedly did, and that is and to say, look, either we settle this or we're filing a lawsuit. Brooks characterizes that as extortion. Again, apparently it's Brooks. This is an anonymous preemptive lawsuit, but assuming that it's Brooks, he characterizes it as extortion. As
you know what though? Hold on, because I saw who just said it. They said Garth is a good man. You can't convince me otherwise. Play devil's advocate with me for a second, okay? And who knows? Maybe this is the beginning, right? Because Puff Daddy, right? Whatever, P Diddy, whatever. We were like, oh, okay, yeah. I never really liked him. I always thought he was kind of weird. But then you see the Cassie thing came out, and it's like, okay, yeah, he's gonna burn in hell for that stuff, right? And then after that, it was like, boom, 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 boom. Now what? 120 people, right? So keep that in mind as I say this. Garth Brooks, right? Devil's advocate here. Why now? Like, why? Because this wasn't from 20 years ago. This is from 4 years ago, 5 years ago, 2019, right? Why now? If I mean, he's peaked, right? Are there going to be more people coming out? Because if he's doing this in 2019, what was he doing in 94? You know what I mean? What was he doing in 92 to like 2000? You know what I mean? Are there going to be a lot more people to come out and say, oh, yeah, you know what? Actually, Garth, back in 96, this happened or this happened. Is he going to get to 100 people, 120 people? What if nobody else comes out and it's because he didn't do anything? And then it comes out that, well, this lady was in that situation and was like, hey, pay me this money or else. You know what I mean? Because I feel like with Garth, think about it. I'm not saying she did. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying like just devil's advocate, play devil's advocate. What if that is what happened? Because I feel like if Garth did it once, he would have done it 100 times. Especially with what they said he said in there. If that's how he thinks, he'd have done it. I mean, there's going to be more than one person. He didn't start there is what I'm saying. So I don't know. Y'all tell me. This is a crazy one. Because it is Garth Brooks, right? I mean, that's like if damn Mr. Rogers came out and they were like, oh yeah, Mr. Rogers. Man, this, you know what I mean? Like something crazy like that where you'd be like, what? No way. No way. God rest your soul, Mr. Rogers. I'm not meaning to throw you under the bus for an analogy, but I'm just saying, like, that shows how pure you are, sir. But you know what I mean? Like, it's a weird one. Okay, let's keep going. I'll shut up.
Defamation against him. It's a Hail Mary with a deflated football. It's not going very far.
It seems like an extraordinary step, though. I mean, she's claiming she has text messages. She's claiming she has audio recordings of phone calls in which it appears, according to the quotes featured in the lawsuit, that he's acknowledging something happened at some point. What that is, it sounds like there's a dispute there, but that seems like an extraordinary step to go to court to try to block somebody from filing a lawsuit like this.
It is an extraordinary step. I'm, really not aware of that having happened in a case like this. not in my memory, certainly, if ever. And, usually the remedy for an unjustified lawsuit, if one considers it unjustified, is to countersue for malicious prosecution, which itself is a very steep road to climb, because the system in this country allows people to sue each other for alleged, misconduct and wrongful conduct. So yeah, it really struck me as something that was almost amateurish, honestly, because I think the
Whoa.
likelihood of any sort of traction from that preemptive lawsuit it's just not there.
Well, it obviously failed because they went ahead and filed
they
suit.
filed it anyways.
There's some pretty graphic things described in this complaint filed by Jane Roe. Talk of, being fondled. I mean, the assault, she's saying she had to go to the gynecologist because she had physical injuries from this May of 2019 incident that she calls a rape in the hotel room. So there may be medical records that corroborate this. There's talk about him saying he wanted to get shampoo bottles that were shaped like toys. I mean, there's all this like sexual stuff talk. How harmful is this to Garth Brooks's image? Because he's a
crazy harmful
star. I mean, he has fans all over the world. People love him. Country music fans do. So how hard of a hit is he going to take from this lawsuit?
It is
massive,
reputationally very, very damaging to Garth Brooks. I have to assume that in addition to having attorneys engaged in dealing with this, that he has publicists, whether
crisis publicists,
his usual publicists, whoever they may be, or crisis publicists who are advising as well, because people are very aware that even though the legally decisive resolution of a lawsuit is, of course, in a court of law, that the court of public opinion influences people's opinions, influences people's willingness to buy tickets, to listen to music, to buy music, if anyone buys music these days, but certainly to listen to music and to go to concerts. It is, as you point out, an extremely detailed, extremely, he towered over her, kid within her, and there's an allegation, and on and on and on, and said what he wanted to have happen next. And, there's a point at which we needn't get into the details, but it's just, it's a very explicit, angry, and as I said, adjective laden in places, complaint that really is written to use the litigation privilege, which allows people to make allegations if they have a sincere, belief in them, with insulation from defamation lawsuits. It's written to make maximum use of the litigation privilege.
It certainly kind of reads like a press release in some respects, and it's very salacious. And we want to reiterate, Garth Brooks is denying this, but the woman says, Ms. Rose says, that she has audio recordings, text messages, things of that nature. So she's saying she has some documentary evidence. We'll keep an eye on it and see where it goes. Jonathan Handel, thank you so much.
Thank you. It's good to be with you.
And that's it for this episode of Crime Fix. I'm Anjanette Levy. Thanks so much for being with me. I'll see you back here next time.